evening. My name is Kelly Smith from the Economic Opportunity Institute. If you're like me, you were probably told growing up that college is like a vegetable. It's good for you. Trust me. Well, it's true. It is very good for you. It leads to better jobs, higher incomes, better health, the list goes on. But we have a problem in our state. By 2016, 75% of jobs will require a college degree. And right now, only half of Washington adults have one. So why isn't everybody going to college? Well, it's the same reason I almost didn't. It's too expensive. Tuition at our major universities is over $12,000 a year. That's more than a fifth of the median household income. Now, I'm not saying there aren't great programs out there to help the lowest income students. There are. The problem is there's just not enough to go around. Last year, over 32,000 needy students went without aid. And need-based aid doesn't necessarily reach everybody who actually needs it. So for example, if you're an only child, your parents have to make less than $35,000 combined for you to qualify for the full state need grant. That's just not enough to pay for tuition. So what do? Well, you probably take out loans. I was the first person in my family to go to college. And then the first person, thank you. And then the first person in my family to get an advanced degree. But today, I stand before you as the first person in my family with 6 figures of student loan debt. And those loan payments are no joke. They keep young adults from being able to buy a house or a car, start a business, save for retirement, or even start a family. That's why we developed Pay It Forward. Pay It Forward opens access to college for all low and middle income students. How do we do it? You start by getting rid of tuition. Instead of paying tuition, graduates contribute 1 to 4% of their income for 20 years after they graduate. Those contributions go directly into a state trust fund, and the money from that trust fund goes directly toward paying the tuition of future students. This program sustains itself within 1 generation. After an initial investment from public and private funds, the fund becomes completely sustained on graduate contributions. So this isn't about banks, it's not about interest. This is simply about today's graduates helping tomorrow's students and building a community of responsibility. And we know that getting rid of tuition works. When you give financial aid to low-income students like the College Bound Scholarship, they graduate from high school at a rate that's 20% higher than their peers. But if you ask me, the most innovative thing about Pay It Forward is that no matter what your income is, you contribute 4%. So for the average Washington graduate, that's about $75 a month. That's less than your cell phone bill. And that's a whole lot less than what those students are paying in loans today. But the benefits of Pay It Forward go well beyond the individual, of course. When you open access to college, you get a more educated workforce. You attract more and better employers, and that means a stronger Washington economy. And those benefits go well beyond the economy. We know that with higher incomes, we see more tax revenue, more charitable giving, and better health, among other things. So it's no wonder that this idea has resonated so strongly with so many. Last year, we passed the nation's first Pay It Forward bill in Oregon, and since then, 25 states have introduced legislation. And this year, we passed 5 additional study bills. Some of the strongest enthusiasm for this idea is right here in our home state, where we introduced 2 Pay It Forward bills last year. And that's because some of our strongest champions are our higher education leaders themselves, both Democrats and Republicans. And it doesn't hurt to have the support of the largest student-led organization in the state. Our pilot for Washington would offer Pay It Forward to 1,000 students at 5 high schools across the state. And we're targeting high schools with high numbers of low-income students and students who, like me, were the first in their family to go to college. We've spent the last 2 years talking with stakeholders about what are the best solutions to this higher education crisis, and we think Pay It Forward is it. So far, we've raised $150,000, but we need $80,000 more. Because once we pass this legislation in Washington, then the real work begins. In the coming year, our team will be an essential part of collecting and analyzing the pilot data and ensuring that the full-scale program maximizes its impact in the places where we need it the most. But we need your help. Not just to send 1,000 kids to college next year, but to change the system. I was lucky, and I am so happy that I went to college, but I still don't know how I'm going to pay for it. Our students are waiting on us to give them better options. So why not today? Thank you.